Hi, and welcome back. It's a festive time, and I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about a small but very important aspect of an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur: understanding product and process innovation. It's a big topic, and we can go on as much as we can in terms of understanding and going into details. There are a lot of studies, there are a lot of books, and a lot of other aspects which come into picture when understanding product versus process. There are three important types of innovations: the product, process, and business model. Today we will focus on product and process. Business model will come back at a later stage. What is product innovation? The best example I can give is the mobile phone to the tablet. If you look at the picture, what I'm showing up here, this is the evolution of the mobile phone. It all started with the key press phone way back in early 90s and evolved into our daily lives by beginning of 2000s. And today it's become such a core important part of our life that we focus or we use the mobile phone for everything, including a little bit of personal computing. So if you look at the way it has evolved, it started as a key press phone where you can send a message or make a phone call. And once the adoption is taken care, it started evolving into smartphones, and smartphones have become even smarter. And today, we have cars which work right from our mobile phone. So you open the app and you start your car and get going, or open the doors and a lot of other things. The product innovation is not a one day or an overnight innovation. It takes form in its own span of time. The average time, according to research, for a product to evolve into a model which can be incorporated into our lives is about decade to decade and a half. So if you are thinking of an idea of bringing out a new product into the market, there are a lot of things which go into the behind the scenes of bringing this product, and you cannot expect it to be a success overnight. It takes at least 10 years for people to adapt to your product. And this is a very, very important time frame if you're an entrepreneur or if you're an entrepreneur trying to bring out new products in your organization or into the market. It becomes very important for you to understand the timelines, what it takes to bring out a new product into the market. So even mobile phones, it took about a decade. It was not overnight. What we see today, take for granted, it has been happening. It took about a long time. If you go back into the history, the first networking aspects came into picture in the 50s, and it took the next 40 years for it to evolve to become the internet and what brings the world together and today. So in any way, if you see, a product takes its own timeline. However, at times, if there is an urgency of the product, it evolves immediately. But the struggle of the entrepreneur or the entrepreneur will not stop at creating the product, but enhancing and keeping it tight and relevant to the market. That's the most important aspect. Your plan which goes into it is the best. One of the best examples I can give is an Indian company. Mr. Vaithishwaran is the founder of that, India Mart Online. He started an e-commerce company in the 90s, late 90s rather, where internet banking, credit cards, debit cards were not accessible to predominant population in India or across the world. Yeah, across the world, few countries evolved a little bit faster. But if you look at from an Indian context, it did not evolve that much towards the end of the 1900s and beginning of 2000. But the whole idea of e-commerce and marketing took a different shape 10 years later, or almost into the second part of 2000s, which is 2006 2007, where actually internet companies started flourishing or coming out with newer ideas where you can pay through credit cards or online banking. And fast forward another 10 years, 2007, 2008, the internet banking has become part and parcel of everybody's life. So if you look at that idea of Mr. Vaitishwaran way back in the late 90s, it took 20 years to evolve as a product. E-commerce as a product. Now, we can debate if e-commerce is a product innovation or a process innovation. We will come back to it a little later. But otherwise, if you look at it as a product which is available to consumers like us, where I can see something online and I can just buy it immediately, pay through my bank and get the product delivered to home. That's a product innovation, and that took about 2 decades. So today when we talk about innovations and product innovations and process innovations, we have a feeling that everything should happen overnight. It does not. It takes its own timeline, and there is a life cycle to every aspect in this world. Nothing is set to just happen overnight. There is a timeline, and we as entrepreneurs need to understand and accept the timeline and plan for those number of years to ensure that you are on top of your idea and you get that rolling as best as you can. Now, coming back to process innovation, what is process innovation? Process innovation is nothing but, in a simple term in today's world, when you open your mobile phone, smartphone today rather, if you open it, there is always an update to your apps. Now, when you update the apps, you might not see any visual changes to your app, and the description might read bug fixes or something else. But what's happening in the back end is the companies are working and trying to do their best to enhance the functionality of your app. So if app is a product, the team which works in the back end to ensure that the workflows are much more better optimized and bring new features to you, this is process innovation. And it plays a very, very important role in the whole innovation cycle. There is nothing called product innovation without process innovation. There is nothing called process innovation without product innovation. These both are interlinked. One of the classic examples I can give you from an Indian perspective again is Swiggy. It's a simple process innovation. Technically, you go to the shop and buy your breakfast or lunch or dinner and bring it back home if you want to, otherwise you can eat it there. That's how it all started. They simplified the entire workflow, saying that you come to our app, select which restaurant you want, what breakfast you want, pay for it, and one of our boys will come and deliver it to you at home. So this is a process. The process of cutting down my travel time or the consumer's travel time to go and bring their breakfast, lunch or dinner home and eat. If it was taking about 1 hour earlier, now it takes 1 minute to order, and when the person brings it, you take delivery and have your breakfast, lunch or dinner. As simple as that. So the entire 1 hour has been cut out from your life. So this is a process innovation. Now that process innovation helps cut down the workflows, enhance the quality of life of the end user, and this is what they make. Now, is product innovation better or is process innovation better if you want to work on something? The best way for an individual to start off understanding a product innovation, I'm talking about employees who are wanting to work or somebody who wants to create a new product, is to start with understanding the workflows for which you're creating the product. So in summary, you need to start with process innovation. Understand how the product will work, how the product is working, and what are your consumers saying, and what are your inputs into improvising these processes or the workflows. So then you will have a better understanding of the product, and hence you can contribute a lot more to the product innovation. Product innovation and process innovation are not different, they both are interlinked, and we as entrepreneurs, we need to understand that these both play a very key role in helping you be successful in whichever area you're working and whatever product you are creating. So that's the aspect which I wanted to share today, and I will start with few other aspects beginning next week in terms of how do you start looking at understanding process innovation or product innovation, and what are the things which are required for you as an individual to make these things happen. So until then, have a good week, and festive greetings to everyone. Thank you.